Hello, welcome back. We have a guide for for crew skills. So basically, when you get to the fleet, usually to pass by the time or to gather materials for crafting, you come to the stronghold and crew skills area. And it's along right here that there is different crew skills. You have synth weaving, armor tech, biochem, artifice, arms tech, and cyber tech. Cyber tech, if I remember correctly, is grenades, mods, enhancements, ear ear pieces, which is right here, and some other stuff. Arms tech is your basic weapons and barrels. You can also craft certain certain augments, which will come at a later date. Artifice is your Jedi stuff for like crystals and other things. I think crystals, lightsabers, shields, focuses, stuff like that. Biochem is your stems and your drugs, basically the drug cartel, if you think about it. Armor tech, or armor mech, is basically armor. You can create light, medium, and or heavy armor. If I remember correctly, armor tech and arms tech and cyber tech takes the same kind of crafting part for each one. I don't remember exactly. Synth weaving is basically your adaptive armor and your leatherworking. Basically, it's for people like a Jedi Consular or a Sith Inquisitor. It can also be used for other parts as well. So keep that in mind. On to the next one. We have starting with the first four gathering classes: underworld trading, treasure hunting, diplomacy, and investigation. Each one has its own set of materials that you can gather. Underworld trading is, if I remember correctly, fabrics and underworld metals. Treasure hunting is, I don't remember what treasure hunting is actually. Diplomacy is medical equipment and companion gifts. Investigation is research components and companion gifts again. I think all of them can do companion gifts, it just depends. As for your primary gathering professions, archaeology, obviously the crystals and the relics and stuff like that. Bioanalysis, your plants, your chemical compounds, stuff like that. Bioanalysis is for basically your biochem. Archaeology is for artifice. It can also be used for other stuff as well. I don't remember exactly. Slicing is, well, you guessed it, slicing into computers, into like mats around the world. And then scavenging is scavenging different scrap and different parts from, let's say, droids, for example. Bioanalysis can also be a profession that you can, if you find a creature of silver or higher rating, you can salvage the body for materials. The same can be said for scavenging and their droids. If you find a droid, you can scavenge it for parts. Archaeology is basically you find stuff around the galaxy looking for certain crystals and stuff like that. But I'll show you another way to do it. Not as effective, but it works. And if you are patient with it, you can get a lot of materials. So let's learn all this. And usually this will give you a level if you do all of them. Usually. See? going to do Cybertech just for an example. Once you gather all the professions, there's also this character, Private Bella, which is the crew skill trade vendor.
You see anything you like?
Each
Just let me
part
know.
has its own unique profession that it works with.
Come back anytime.
So if you press L, which is your default key for your missions, up at the top you see Codex. Click that, go to crew skills, and along here you can see what professions are recommended, like for Cybertech, for instance. Recommended gathering skill, scavenging. Recommend mission skill. That's the one I was thinking of. Mission skill. These are the mission skills over here. Underworld trading, which is underworld metals. Now, some things may require a third profession. I'll give you an example. Weapons tech. Certain pieces, certain augments, more specifically, if I remember correctly, the ones at the end require cybertech or slicing materials, which you get, if I remember correctly, sliced tech parts. Just as an example for future reference. Go on ahead and get scavenging. And go on ahead and get underworld trading, because that's actually the class, the thing I'm going to go. So if you press B, which is your default key for your crew skills, click on Cybertech, this menu will pop up. There is a list of things you can make with these parts. Like I said, earpieces. And as you can see, the conductive flux is something you need. As you level up in the scavenging and underworld trading, you will gather more high yield missions, but there is also a chance of the companion failing the mission. Each companion has a level, an influence level, which affects this. You see how she's level 2? This is 3%. If I go to someone like Darth Hexed, it's 1.0 and 1.5. At max level, it is 75% for both of these. So what I would recommend is, if you're going to get characters to level 50, I recommend that you start with a certain one that can gather the companion gifts and just spam those specifically. Certain companions like certain things. I'll give you an example. Janice. She likes... Actually, I don't know if it says it. Here we go. Disrespecting authority, casual violence, anarchy for the fun of it. She likes those things, but she dislikes self-sacrifice for the greater good, sincerity, obedience, patriotic spirit, and being taken advantage of. So, hang on a second. Sorry. But, like, there are certain companions that like certain gifts. I'm trying to figure out how to make an example. Not that. But in a nutshell, if you want to get companions level up fast, companion gifts, from what I can tell, are the way to go. That's not pay to win. Now, if you have some money to spare, you have a choice. You can go and get Commander's Compendiums, which is a 3-pack, which you can buy in a 3-pack, which is on sale right now. But I think it's only for May the 4th. So if you buy one of if you have enough cartel coins, you can buy one of these, and you'll get 3 of these, which makes your active companion to level 50. Keep this in mind. If you do it this way, you will not get the conversations. Not that I can tell. So if you want the conversations, you have to do it manually. Especially if you want to romance someone. Keep that in mind. Romance will come later. Alright. So, basically, you get different levels of scavenging. So, and there's a total of 10 levels until you reach the max for up to this expansion. When you get to 600, you can use 250,000 credits to go from 600 max to 700 max, which is the Onslaught Underworld Trading, for example. Each one costs $250,000, so it's a pretty hefty cost. But if you truly want to do crafting, there is a way to earn those credits. So, if you're good at crafting and good at undercutting the market, you will find out very quickly that people are willing to pay depending on what server you're on. I am on the new server that released with 1.7.4.1, which is the Shea Vizsla server. So there's not many people on here, and the market is fresh, so we don't have much on the market that I can tell that's in my field. I already have a level 80 and a level 76 that I transferred over, so I'm pretty much set for a while. If you want to transfer to the server, there are a couple of different requisitions that is a couple of requirements. Level 20 minimum, so you have to play your character a little bit on another server before you can transfer him. 15 million credit limit, and you, if I understand correctly, have to be active in the server. I don't know the exact details on that, but basically, fresh system if you want to start on a relatively fresh server. Yes, there may be a little bit of lag depending on where you are in the world. Like me, I live in America, and this is an Asia Pacific server. So it's going to be a little bit of a connection. But if you have a decent computer, it should not be a problem, and a decent internet connection, like I have. But that's pretty much it for crafting. Oh, one more thing. If you, at some point, there's what's called conquest pieces of equipment, like invasion forces, which require an extensive amount of resources and multiple crafting professions to do. Dark projects, which can be used for other things. There is also the decorations stuff, which you craft with prefabs, which requires at least 2 professions in order to craft the universal prefabs. I do not know what the prefabs are going for nowadays, but I wouldn't mind looking. But let's go look to see how much the prefabs are costing. Because now I'm actually kind of curious how much the prefabs are costing. It's okay. Not as high as I thought it was gonna be, but that's pretty good, given the fact. And that is why I don't, and that is why I transferred to this server, and now that reason is fake. Buy cheap credits at $9.3. don't ever respond to this or go to their website. It's not worth it. There's many other ways to earn credits without having to pay actual money. Never ever touch stuff like this, because you will get banned if you get caught. And it's not guaranteed that you'll get the credits anyway. I've never touched it because I know better than to trust stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, everyone.